Upward mobility hasn't disappeared, but in many places, especially the US and parts of Europe, it's harder than it used to be. The reasons aren't just personal, they're structural, layered, and reinforcing. Let's break it down clearly. For decades, productivity and prices have risen faster than wages. Housing, healthcare, education, skyrocketing wages, slow, uneven growth. So even if someone is working just as hard or harder, they're saving less, investing less, falling behind relative to asset owners. Translation: it's harder to get ahead when just staying afloat costs more. This is one of the biggest hidden drivers. Income from labor equals linear. You work, you get paid. Income from assets equals exponential. Money earns money. People who already have stocks, property, business equity benefit from compounding over time. Meanwhile, workers depend on paychecks, often can't invest early or consistently. Result: the gap widens automatically, even without anyone working harder. Education is no longer a guaranteed ladder. There was a time when degree, good job, stable life. Now, tuition has exploded, student debt is massive, degrees don't always match job markets. Many graduates start adulthood already in debt, compete for fewer middle-class roles. Education still helps, but it's no longer a reliable elevator. Technology and globalization reshaped jobs. High-skilled jobs growing but competitive. Low-wage service jobs growing. Middle-skilled jobs shrinking. Automation and outsourcing removed many. Factory jobs, clerical roles, stable career tracks. Fewer stepping stone jobs means a harder climb upward. Mobility depends heavily on family wealth, neighborhood, school quality, networks. If you start with financial safety nets, connections, better education, you're far more likely to move up. If you don't, one setback, like an illness or job loss, can derail progress. The system hasn't frozen, but it's become stickier. Student loans, credit cards, medical bills, debt reduces risk-taking, moving, investing, flexibility. It's harder to climb when you're already carrying weight. Over time, many countries have seen lower taxes on capital versus labor, weaker labor bargaining power, reduced social safety nets in some places. These shifts subtly favor owners over earners. Upward mobility slowed not because people became less capable, but because the rules of the game changed. Costs rose faster than wages. Wealth started compounding at the top. Traditional pathways weakened. Risk increased for those at the bottom. A grounded way to think about it. Mobility today often requires more than just working hard. It tends to involve access, networks, information, ownership, even small investments matter. Strategy, where you apply effort, matters more than how much. Are working people in denial? Not exactly. What often looks like denial is usually a mix of survival focus. When you're working to pay rent, bills, food, your time horizon shrinks. Long-term systemic critique becomes a luxury. Cultural conditioning. Many societies emphasize ideas like hard work, success. That narrative isn't entirely false, but it's incomplete. It can obscure structural barriers. Hope as a coping mechanism. Believing I'll make it isn't stupidity, it's psychological fuel. Without it, motivation collapses. Fragmentation. Workers are divided by class, race, nationality, politics. That makes shared awareness harder to organize. So it's less denial and more a system that doesn't reward deep questioning unless you already have some stability. Who really benefits from the system? At a high level, modern socioeconomic systems, especially capitalism, tend to concentrate advantages among asset owners. People who own businesses, real estate, stocks, and capital. These individuals benefit because their money makes more money, often faster than wages grow. Large institutions, corporations, financial institutions, political power structures. They benefit from scale. They can outcompete smaller players. Influence, policy, lobbying, regulation shaping. High skill, high leverage individuals. Not just the rich, but people with rare skills, tech, finance, medicine, control over systems or networks. They can command higher pay or ownership stakes. Where does that leave working people? Most workers operate in a wage based position, meaning income is tied to time and labor, limited control over production or profit, vulnerable to market shifts. That doesn't mean they're powerless, but structurally, they capture less upside, they absorb more risk. The deeper truth, less talked about. The system does provide real benefits: technology, infrastructure, opportunity for some mobility, but it distributes those benefits unevenly. So the real tension isn't, does the system work? It's, who does it work best for and at whose expense? So, denial or design, a more precise way to frame it. It's not that working people are broadly asleep. It's that the system is designed to be stable, not necessarily fair. And stability often depends on people continuing to participate, even if they're not the primary beneficiaries.